This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
There are always models we want to love. For me, it's Lauka Vai from Games Workshop's Soulblight Army. You tell me about a badass woman vampire knight with a twisted, unquenchable thirst for destruction, and I want to use her for something, even if it's not Age of Sigmar. She's huge, she's in plate mail, she's a vampire, and yet somehow it looks like Games Workshop just came up with two slightly thought-through models and decided to put them together. But the question is, can I make this into something worth painting? The goal of this project is not to make a new model. I still want her to be identifiable as Lauka Vai. Instead, I want to create a piece that looks cohesive and lives up to her epic story. First is identifying the problem. Her human half is in pristine parade-style armor compared to the shredded wings and loincloth of the bat part of the bat tar. Again, they just don't work together. Yeah, her anatomy is also a little weird, but she did claw her way out of a puddle of primordial ooze in a far more monstrous form, so that checks out. The easiest way to make this look cohesive is to add armor and other bits to the lower half of this model. I'm not a big Warhammer player, so I don't have the bits to just kitbash this model. I'm off to eBay to see what bits I can find online. I'm taking a bit of a gamble here, but if the bits don't fit or work, I can always use them to make custom molds and cast the pieces I need in green stuff or UV resin. The base plan: new loincloth with a fancy belt, shields for tassets, or maybe pauldrons for tassets up closer around the waist, then however else I can fill her out via blue stuff molds and green stuff. While I'm waiting for the eBay parts to come in, let's go assemble the model.
I just got my bits in the mail, let's open them up. Okay, for the most part, it looks like my plan is going to work. That is, except the pauldrons. The pauldrons are just way too big. The loincloth fits perfect, and the shields work great for the tassets. Unfortunately, these bits here are in no way going to work as bracers, but they are the right size, so they will be perfect for mold making. For my molds, I'm using blue stuff. Blue stuff is a type of thermoplastic that becomes soft and pliable in hot water and solidifies once cooled. It's the same material used to attach prosthetic vampire teeth, because I am 100% sure that all of you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm wrapping the blue stuff up around the edges of the pieces so I can get the exact shape and size, but I'm leaving enough room to peel out my cast without destroying the mold. Before we add resin to cure, let's talk about the cure for all your website needs. Squarespace provides everything you need to create an exceptional website for your business or online presence all within a single platform. If I want to show my art, Squarespace has easy and beautiful templates that always make my work look good. If I want to sell merch, Squarespace offers several online commerce features including print on demand. Miniature painting might be hard, but setting up your website doesn't have to be. To make your custom website, check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/lyla.mev and use the code lyla.mev to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Alright, back to painting. Alright, I'm doing a bit of experimenting with this. I read online that you can use UV resin to create your casts, and they have pristine detail. However, I want to paint these bits, and I'm not sure how UV resin is going to take to paint. I'm putting 2 drops of UV resin into the mold and swishing it around. UV resin is a bit thick and moves slowly, so I can cover the entire mold without making the mold very thick. I'm honestly really impressed with how these details came out. Sure, there are a few air bubbles, but I'm not too worried about these pieces looking perfect, it'll just better match the shredded wings. Okay, after a little bit of experimenting, I think I figured it out. Step 1 is applying a varnish or sealant. I'm using Tester's Clear Coat. Second is to apply 2 layers of primer. Maybe one would have worked, I don't know, I'm being thorough. And then a second layer of clear coat. If I rub really hard, I can ever so slightly see that the primer is rubbing away. But since it is going on her wrist, an area that I won't be touching very frequently anyway, I think it will work fine. Taking Milliput, I'm rolling it flat, then letting it dry for 20 minutes. Milliput is near impossible to work with when you first mix it, as it's just too sticky. Allowing it to dry makes it a lot more manageable. I'm carefully cutting strips using a damp X-Acto blade to create the straps needed to hold up each piece of armor. Then I'm placing them on the model with a damp silicone tool. The longer I'm doing this, the easier it's getting. I don't think that's because I'm getting better with practice, but because the more I let the milliput dry, the easier it is to work with. Come on! Ugh. I definitely recommend letting your milliput dry closer to 30 or 40 minutes instead of my original 20. Now that my base elements are done, let's look at what other elements we can use to tie in the top armor to the bottom armor. Okay, the back. I want to create some sort of laminar armor or plates that overlap each other. I found this 3D printed shield that is the right size, and I'm removing the extra details with an X-Acto blade to make it completely smooth. Then again, I'm making a mold and casting it with green stuff. These green stuff pieces did not turn out well. But again, that's okay, these pieces don't need to be perfect. The pieces did end up really thick, so I'm shaving down the inside so that they fit together more evenly. Then I'm going to glue them together and over her tail. For her belt, I'm adding a few pieces from a creature caster model, as well as some chains. So I'm just not feeling this. I think maybe her pose is too static, which is a problem that a lot of Games Workshop models have. They're just standing there. I want her to look like she's mid-combat. I also feel like her pose is not conducive to showing the entire awesomeness of this model. So I think I'm going to reposition one of her arms to make the pose more interesting, as well as the model just better overall. Wait, where is this footage? To add to this new mid-battle pose, I'm thinking we put a defeated enemy in Lauka Vai's grip. I found this random Slanesh dude in my drawer, and I'm going to give him a makeover. It's okay. I think the problem is that I did all of this work so that we could see more of the model, and then putting this dude in the grip just blocks the view again. So I think instead I'm going to put him on the ground on some rubble or something, and not worry about anything being in her hand. Final details. I have this crown piece from Reaper that I think will help elongate her head and face to better match the curve of the wings. Lastly, I'm gluing chains onto the bracers to once again have elements that tie the two halves together.
Let me know in the comments, did I pull it off? Does the model now live up to her epic story? And is this something you would enjoy painting? You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, go join me over on Patreon. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.